Welcome to another Daily Classics Top Pick based on originality, condition, and price. Today's feature car is a 1988 Buick Electra Park Avenue. You're going to love this car, folks, because it's not expensive. My name is Rob Lofaris. You're watching the Daily Classics channel. Let's go check this car out. I found this car on Craigslist this morning. It's located outside of Denver, Colorado. It's a 1988 Buick Electra Park Avenue, one family owned car since new. It's got the fabulous 3.8 liter V6 engine, 46,000 original miles, and the seller's asking $49.50, and it seems to be a very good deal. This sixth generation Buick was built off the new front wheel drive H platform and ran from 1986 to 1991. It was also shared with the Oldsmobile 88, the 98, and the Pontiac Bonneville. But Buick was the only one that offered this styling in a two-door coupe, and we'll talk about that later on. These top-of-the-line Electras were fantastic driving cars, and they featured things like automatic leveling control, which was a simple rear air shock that really had a pump inside the engine bay, and the pump would add air to the air shocks in the back to keep it level. So if you put a lot of luggage in the trunk, or if you had three people in the back seat, instead of the car, sinking down, the car would maintain a level ride. And it really worked, and it's not a complicated system. The system's really easy to repair and work on. I had one of these, almost the identical car, and I was able to fix these and troubleshoot them with no problems. I also loved about the LeSabre and the Electra of these days was they had something called this clam-shell type hood. And the hood, rather than opening up, from the front of the car, basically folded out and folded down. And there was a lot of mechanism here. It was like a counterweight too, and it was no effort at all to make it. You just basically unhitched the front latch here in the front of the car and just basically rolled it out, and this hood just came up very easily and dropped in this position, and you had full access to everything on the car. And the only other car that had more access was the Corvette C4 at the time. So it had this very special design, and it was kind of unique because they were the only ones, Buick was the only one to share that type of thing. But just looking at the car, if we want to dive into the ad a bit, let's dive into the walk around on the car. The car looks very original and straight. I don't see any real damage to the car. It had a lot of chrome work underneath here, underneath the doors and all around the front bumper, and all that bright work looks very original. The rear of the car looks really nice. Again, that bright work on the bottom sills here looks good. Actually, the lower sills look really, really clean. The small little bumperettes look nice. A lot of times with these older General Motors cars, they get like clear coat fading, and you actually lose like clear coat on the flat surfaces depending on how exposed these cars were to the weather. But if this car was in the garage all this time and it looks to be really nice, I'm thinking that the paintwork is probably in really good shape because the car just shows that here in the photos. Had these hubcaps here. These are upgraded hubcaps rather than the alloy wheels you can get to with the touring models. And it's great. The inside of the car has velour interior, which I'm okay with because a lot of times the leather interiors, as they age, they tend to crack and all. And this is a little more plusher, to sit in and things like that. It had cruise control, standard equipment, power windows, power seats. All the standard features that you would imagine that they would have on a car like this. But look at the door panels here; they look nice. Look original. Doesn't look like there's been any spray or overspraying on the door panels here. And the center post looks original. The back seat looks really nice. It doesn't look like there's any wear and tear in the back seats, which is nice to see with a low mileage car. Again, this whole opening here where the door panel meets, that all looks original. Doesn't look like there's been any paint on the car. The armrests here are in one piece. They're not worn. The little grab handle comes out of this little indent here to close the door, and that looks beautiful too. The driver's seat looks good from this angle. We're not looking at a photo here, but I'm thinking that the driver's seat is nice. All the controls here, these tend to warp with time, and this looks very straight. And then the dashboards tend to warp as well, and this one looks really nice and straight with no warpage and things like that. So, I think this car is a very nice car. Oh, this is pretty cool. On the side, on the B-pillar, they had these little fluorescent type lights and had this weird type of bulb and system that made these lights go on and off. And if it's not working, you can buy kits to make it work. So these little running lights stayed on when the car's headlights were on, and it's really cool. I would be amazed if these are still working after all these years, because they tend to just dry rot out, and the bulbs just basically get fragile. But there are kits and aftermarket kits that you can get that you can rebuild those little running lights, which is really cool. Front suspension looks nice. Tires look good. Again, I'm looking here at the front suspension on the lower arm here. Doesn't see any rust. This is all plastic inlay here on the inner wheel well. But again, I don't believe this car is going to be having a lot of rust on it. The engine bay looks really clean. Looks like it could use a detail. A little dirty on top here, but it looks original. It doesn't look like there's any rust here on the main supports and the radiator support and things like that. Shock towers look really nice. I see some leaves here in the front hood, but maybe the car was left outside for a little while. But other than that, the car looks to be original. The interior looks nice. 46,000 miles. It has all the gauges, which is really cool. And it has the original bill of sale, the window sticker, I'm sorry. And it shows that this car was $21,145 when new. So it wasn't an inexpensive car by any means at the time. So yeah, and it's got all the stickers in the back trunk, so that means it's all original. It was built on 11/88, November of 1987, I'm sorry, for an 88 model year, so one of the early model years. And comes with all the books and all that. So anyway, it looks to be a really nice car. For the price, $49.50, what I had said in there is that, if you can get this car for $3,900, and you happen to live out in the area, you could probably drive this car anywhere. Just get another serpentine belt, put in the trunk, check the fluid levels, change the oil, and get it home and enjoy it. For the price of an electric bicycle, you can have a four-wheel luxury car here. And again, this car gives you 10 years of just driving pleasure. And they really ride very nice. I think you'll be very impressed. What I wanted to show you was what these coupes look like. The touring coupes of the LeSabre basically was the same front end and all, but it was just a two-door car. And these touring coupes were really rare to find. They're very pretty cars. If you look at that from here in this photo here, every now and then one comes up and they're $10, $12, $14, $15,000. And it's basically the same as a four-door sedan, but just a little more beefier suspension and all, better, I think larger wheels as well and tires. But these are nice cars. So that's it. So I enjoy this car a lot. I had one almost identical with leather interior. I bought it for about $3,000 about 6 years ago, and I sold it for like $7,000 because I did some work to it. So I didn't make money on it, but I didn't lose money on it either. So they're really enjoyable cars, especially the Buicks, because they have that special clam hood that just goes forward, and you impress everybody and fool everybody when you pull up to the lights and show people their cars at car shows, and they go, "How do you open up the engine?" And you show them, "Hey, that's pretty cool. That it opens up this way, So anyway, that's the fun. Anyway, that's it. That wraps up this top pick for today. It's an inexpensive car, $4,900. If you can buy it for $3,900, $3,500, make a deal, bring it home, have some fun, and get into the hobby this spring. If you'd like to join us on Daily Classics to get information about this car, go to our Daily Classics Facebook page by clicking this link. That will take you right to our Facebook page. We have 10,200 members there that talk about this car all day. And please subscribe to this channel if you enjoy it. We really appreciate that. Share with friends that love cars as well. Thank you very much for your support to this channel. It's growing every day, and it's so nice to see. And we're going to keep doing these videos as long as we keep finding the top picks from coast to coast. This is Rob. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again real soon. Have a good day.